Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Tommy's Trains. Here's something I've been wanting for probably about 20 years. It's a turntable, and this is the Kato Unitrack electric turntable, N-Gauge 20-283. And it comes with the turntable controller, power supply, fitted connecting straight track, turntable center brace, bumper track bed, bumper track rails, unijoiner, insulated unijoiners, half insulated unijoiners, a removal tool, and the controller ribbon cable. So it gives you the option to look like this. So because we don't have a lot of room here, we're basically going to pretend that we're on the siding. I'm just going to add the turntable in this area here. So let's go ahead and open this up. We're going to go through this step by step together, and I'll show you exactly how this is wired up, how it works, and hopefully that'll help you with yours when you buy one. So here's our instructions. Our turntable controller looks very similar to this other controller. Power cord for the turntable switch, or power supply, I should say. Tracks, cable, ribbon cable, the joiners, and the removal tool. Looks like the little cage thing that goes on there, and a whole bunch of little pieces that I don't know what they go to yet. Here's our turntable with the ribbon cable. All right, let's take a look at this. So we got the green end here. It looks the same on both ends. I want to make sure I put this on the same way so it goes upside down, what appears to be upside down. So it clicks when it gets into a place where it'll line up with the tracks. And if you stop turning this right here, it'll go until it centers itself. So that's really cool. These right here are our turntable tracks. So you can get more of them. These are the turntable extension track straights 20-285. You can also get a turntable track curve 20-286. This is a DC extension cord, which you can use in here to make this further away. It's a 24-825 terminal with unijoiners. So what this has right here is the plug to go into your power pack, but it's just two little unijoiners that will plug into the ends of your track. So if you don't have one of those terminal pieces, you can use this instead, just where it connects. Turntable extension cord 20-841. These are turntable extension track feeder conversion kit 20-284. This is convert a fitted connecting track into a power feeding track. So you can take any one of these tracks and make it a powered track. It looks like it just plugs into this little spot here. Turnout control switch 24-840. Signal extension. This would go to one of these signals that I've got if I need to make that longer. Let's see, the turntable extension cable 20-287, which will make this longer. And if you have steam locomotives, you're going to need this one. This is a 20-015. These are ash pit tracks. So it's got the whole ash pit in there. Then the last item we have is a Kato roundhouse 23-240. And these are stackable, so you can put more together. You can also, they have a two-stall engine house. And let's see, what's this one? It doesn't say. But, oh yeah, here it is. It's a 23-225 wood two-stall engine house. So you could put it over here and have like a shop. And yeah, it's just like I thought. That little feeder will go into the bottom of these, and then you can energize these tracks, which you'll need to do if you want to have them powered. All right, so when you look at this, we have this power cord here. And unless you want to use a separate controller, you need this on-off switch, like I've showed you before here. So we're going to disassemble our regular feeder track, which is right here. We're going to take this lead here that comes out of the back of this on-off switch. We're going to plug that in. We're going to take this very slowly, step by step. So I'm going to explain what I've done so far. All right, so far I've got the turntable here, ribbon cable. Ribbon cable attaches to this turntable motor here. So in order for this to work, you have to have it on. It'll rotate either way. And if you do that down here, it'll just keep going. Now it's just going to go until it finds a spot. So there we go, we're lined up. Okay, now what else I've done is I've powered this to, I've run this power to a power strip. I have the track cable here plugged into this on-off switch here. So I've got that going on the top, and then I've got the regular track power, if I can find it again, here. All right, so the next thing we need to do, because what we don't want is to have our approach track here go into the roundhouse, because what would happen is we'd have a mess. We'd have power going all the way through. So what we've done here is we've put an insulated track section here, there, and this right here is going to be powered by this right here. So here's our turntable, but this is our throttle, forward or backwards, and then obviously our amount of voltage we apply is there. So in order to like power one of these roundhouse parts, again, you need this, the extension track feeder conversion kit. And the way that's going to go on is it comes with these little pins, these microscopic eyeglass screws, and you have to take the pins and you set them like this. So what's going to happen is when you take your feeder cable here, it's going to plug in. It'll be just like our terminal track on the back side. So I've got that connected. I'm going to flip this over, put that on there, and then screw it in. So once I have this snapped in, you can see where I'm going to put my screw, and then there is where the terminal track goes. You see my pins in there? There's two. So then screw this in. And then here's our feeder. We're going to plug that in here. These can be a little bit of a pain, and thankfully I've got this big table so I can kind of do it over here and not lose these little tiny pieces, because they will be very hard to find again. And then I'm just going to plug this in like I normally would on a normal powered section. And then I'm going to insulate this. And this will come off a section that's not in line with my feeder track. In this right here, there's bumpers, which are right here. Sorry about that, I have a little snafu. Snafu is an acronym from World War II. It means situation normal, all effed up. Yeah, we're going to engine here, and we're going to go on to the bridge. This has to be off. Now with that off, bring it on. Now that it's there, I want to go onto this track. Now we'll offload the locomotive. You see how it stopped there? That's where I need this part right here. So bear with me 1 second. I gotta, yeah. So I need another power pack. I don't think you can do this unless you have 2 of those on-off switches. I think you're gonna need 2 of those on-off switches to make this work, because you're gonna need 1 for your regular track. You're gonna need 1 for this, and then you're gonna need 1 for that. I mean, it's kind of out of the way, but I wouldn't say that it's in the roundhouse. So bear with me. Okay, so you may have an extra power pack kicking around. If not, you probably want some more of these on-off switches. I also see on the back here, there's the option for the 24-850 power feed control switch. What I think that's what that is. The power direction control switch, 24851, and a 3-way extension cord, which may allow you to energize a whole bunch of sections of track with one of these switches. So I think I'll get one of those, and then in a future episode, I'll plug it in and see if that works. But now I've got my approach track. Here's my bridge. Here's my powered section of roundhouse track. I built my little bumper. Again, you're going to want the back wall of the roundhouse may hold this, but I would probably super glue that in place to keep it from getting shoved. So let's see. Here's our locomotive. So here's our locomotive. Here's our turntable bridge, but it's not in the right spot. So one thing I want to warn you of is when you are pushing more sections of track into here, these little rails are just like every other piece of track, and they will slide in the ties. So you want to be careful that you don't get that piece of rail shoved inside the turntable pit, because it'll bind up on your little engine house there. So let's see. We're going to drive on to the turntable, and we're going to use that right there to put us on. Now we're going to rotate. So we're there. I'm going to drive off. See, I don't have any power anymore. So that's where this one will come in. So it almost gets you off the bridge. It's pretty close. I guess it would roll to a stop if you were going fast enough. So you probably don't need this unless you get some extra track. So let's just give this a try on a second piece. So again, we need our insulated terminal, rail joiners, I'm sorry. Put that on like that. We need one of these, which is our bumper. We need 2 of the little pieces of iron. This just kind of sets into a groove, and then you pull it back. But I obviously am blind, so I have to do it this way, which probably some of you can relate if you're over 50. I can see fine up close without glasses, but I cannot see distance. So these kind of set down in. You heard it snap, maybe. And then this is going to plug into the end of this, but it just doesn't, it's loose. Again, the back of the roundhouse may hold it. So then we're going to shove this in here. We're still not lined up with our approach track. We don't want anything on the other side of that. So let's try driving off. And this way, go onto the bridge, turn. Okay, so I don't have this track powered. Let's just see what happens. I guess you don't need it. Let's see if we can get out of there. No. It'll coast onto that siding, but you're not going to get back off without a push. So again, if you just store in some locomotives that you're not using, I guess that works. If you want to have it powered so that you can move it, then you're going to need some other option like this, which I think you just need more of those on-off switches. I think that would solve the problem because you're going to still use the throttle in reverse from here anyway. So hopefully that's helped you out. We're going to put the roundhouse on real quick just to show you that. But really simple. It looks overwhelming, but we broke it down. And I'll bring you back over here and I'll show you this all intricately detailed so that you don't have any trouble putting yours together. So here's our Kato roundhouse, N-Gauge 23-240. I don't know if it's ready built or not. I hope it is. You know, being a model train person, you kind of have to be a lot of things. And I like to build the tracks. I like to build the scenery. I like to work on the equipment. What I don't like to do is build buildings. I'm not good at it. I don't have the patience. My hands are shaky. So I buy pre-built buildings. I used to buy the snap together ones, but those look like toys. I really got addicted to these Woodland Scenics built up ones. They're expensive, but they're incredible. So here's our roundhouse. So what I didn't know, this is going to take up quite a bit of real estate on your layout, because I thought that this was inside the roundhouse, but I was wrong. Not an insulated one, but a regular rail joiner on here, so we could just steal one off one of these other tracks for the moment, because I don't have any handy. So we'll take... Oh, I already pulled one off. There it is. So we're going to stick this on here, which will let me go to this powered one here, the top off, because all the window glazing just falls out. So this just sets on like that, and let's drive our train in. There we go. So let's say we want to turn that train around. So we'll come out of there. And then we'll go all the way around with the turntable. So you don't need these bumpers unless you just have like a dead end track sitting off to the side. You don't need it inside the roundhouse because the tracks, they go up against a brick wall. Well, that's pretty fun. This is probably one of the best things I've ever bought. I really am excited. I've obviously got some pieces to put back on. I've got to get the window glazing hooked in. I don't mind a little bit of cement to hook these in. They didn't stay. They were just kind of sitting in there. And then there's two little microscopic screws. All right, this is a lot of fun. So I'm gonna make sure these are all off. I'm gonna bring my train on to the turntable, but I have to align it first. So So we'll drive on the turntable, move. Okay, we're lined up. And new throttle. I'm going to back off that onto the siding. Here's our next control here. And then we're going to put it in the engine house. Yeah, this is really cool. I can't think of anything I've ever bought for trains that's more fun than this. It's so fun. Anyway, turntable, your approach tracks, roundhouse, and this is great. This is really great. So out of the roundhouse, here's our power that is only connected to here the way I showed you. So we're going to come off that, come onto that approach track. We should be able to drive it up on the turntable, and then we run out of power there. So we're going to come back over here. We're going to engage this. That puts us on there further. Rotate over where we want to be. Drive off. That's really cool. On-off power supply. Hook to here. Back out of here. Into here. The ribbon cable goes to here. Turns this, also powers the center. This right here is our second power pack. Connected here, that gives you power in there. You also may need some extensions or some more tracks. Here's some more like roundhouse tracks, like if you want to put the engine shed, all kinds of cool stuff. Extension, ribbon cable, and again, I got to glaze these, but here's the roof. Really cool. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.